Namaskar and welcome to StudyIQ. I am your friend Rahul Saigaonker. The agenda for today's discussion is nothing short of a sci-fi story or a sci-fi movie. We are going to discuss about the topic of Havana syndrome. Havana syndrome is a mysterious disease. I wouldn't call it a disease, but a mysterious ailment causing problems to the US officials. And now Indian government has stated that they are going to look into this Havana syndrome. Now you are a little flustered. Sir, a syndrome or an ailment which is causing problems to US officials and Indian government is going to look into it. Yes. Why? We'll get to know during this interaction. Then we'll also talk about what is this Havana syndrome, what are its symptoms, and are all the questions connected to Havana syndrome answered? Are there any mysteries connected to it? We'll also know about the history behind the name Havana itself. We'll get to know all this information in this particular video lecture. To get to know that, stay with me till the very end. All right, let's begin our interaction. But before that, there is a small notice for all the UPSC civil services aspirants. StudyIQ is offering P2I Prelims to Interview Initiative, which is the most comprehensive program where we will be hand-holding you through all the three stages: Prelims, Mains, and Interview. The August batch would be one of the last batches, which is beginning from 11th August 2023, 8 a.m. Do enroll for this without any delay. I'll see you in the class. All right, let's continue our discussion about Havana syndrome. Now, I told you that the central government, that means Indian government, has stated that they are going to investigate this issue of Havana syndrome. The question is, why? A petition was filed by one of the residents of Bengaluru by name Amarnath Chagu, who sought enquiry into the syndrome, Havana syndrome, in India and measures that India is going to take to counter it. Now, the question is, sir, why was this petition accepted at all? Because one of the cases of Havana syndrome, it was seen in India. And please remember, I have to reiterate this, that Havana syndrome, it is causing problems only to US diplomats, US officials, US troops, or US intelligence officers. And one such incident was seen in India, in New Delhi in 2021. A CIA team was visiting India, and in 2021, one of the members of this CIA team, he complained of these symptoms connected to Havana syndrome. And after that, a petition was sought, and this petition was responded to by the central government. And recently, the central government has said that they are going to conduct an investigation into Havana syndrome, and they're going to submit a report in a time-bound manner in the next 3 months. We'll wait and watch for that report for sure, because we are very much intrigued that will India give some answers connected to Havana syndrome. All right, but the question still remains, sir, what is this Havana syndrome? This Havana syndrome is nothing short of a sci-fi concept. You must have seen so many movies, so many series, etc., where you see spy culture. The spy from one country enters another country to gather information for espionage, etc., right? And if there are some attacks, you must have seen attacked by a nerve agent or attacked by some sort of other weapon, right? Or they try to turn the spy to get information from the other side, such things, right? So this Havana syndrome, I would say it is nothing short of these sci-fi stuff, because there are no answers as of now regarding what causes this Havana syndrome, what causes the symptoms of Havana syndrome. Most of the symptoms are psychogenic. That's why. Now, the question is, sir, when did it start? Has it been decades? No, it is relatively new. The issue of Havana syndrome, it started from 2016, and I'm repeating that United States of America and its officials, they are suffering from this. Over the past 7 years now, more than 200 United States of America officials, diplomats, troops, and intelligence officers, they have complained of symptoms connected with Havana syndrome. And the problem is, United States of America does not have any answers regarding the potential reasons behind this. There have been multiple reports or multiple investigations by CIA, by FBI, by other intelligence agencies, and they are still flustered. No concrete answers. Now, it began in 2016. That's why the name Havana. Why? Because first case of this Havana syndrome, it came from Havana, capital city of Cuba. Please remember this from exam point of view. So the first case, it started in Havana. That's why the name Havana syndrome also. But over a period of time, in the last 7 years, we have seen cases from many other countries. And again, in the US officials, US diplomats who are serving in embassies in, say, Canada, in European countries, in West Asia, and a case from India as well when the CIA team was visiting in 2021. Now, what do these officers who complained about this Havana syndrome? They suggest that they heard a strange sound, and after that, they are getting some weird kind of symptoms, psychogenic symptoms. And these symptoms are nothing short of the symptoms of hangover. Very strange. Now, what are the symptoms? The officials, they feel nauseated, they feel dizzy, they feel severe headaches, fatigue, and hearing loss as well. In some of the cases, in some of the extreme cases, they also feel vertigo, loss of balance. They do not know where they are. Suddenly, they find themselves at some other place, right? They do not recall what happened. So these are some of the cases. Now, if you view the interview of these patients, of these officials, you will realize that the stories, they're quite unreal. It sounds like the sci-fi movie itself, that they have been brainwashed or something else is happening to them. All right, that's why I told you the questions have not been answered. And United States of America, the country itself is investigating it. Many agencies are investigating it. And in 2020, a report was published in the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering and Medicine, where this spoke about the personnel and their families who are in the overseas embassies. They are suffering from these symptoms. But the reason behind that is still unknown. What causes, right? If it is some sort of nerve attack, then you will understand some nerve toxic or some nerve poison is in the body. But here, there are no answers for these symptoms. CIA is investigating, FBI is investigating, other intelligence agencies are investigating. They don't even know the answer whether it is a coordinated attack. One of the reports or one of the inputs by CIA, it says that it is unlikely that some other adversary countries, say predominantly Russia or China, they are behind that. They say that it is unlikely that some other foreign country is behind this. The other intelligence agencies or other intelligence community members, they believe that it might be because of certain weapons or some sort of electromagnetic radiation, which could be the cause of Havana syndrome. In January 2022, a CIA interim report was released, which did not deny that it can be because of some directed energy device or directed energy weapon. And CIA suggested it may be microwaves or ultrasound, but still no concrete answers connected to Havana syndrome. The report, which was released by CIA in January 2022, it suggested that there are 4 core symptoms connected with Havana syndrome. 4 core symptoms, that is sudden onset of a sound pressure in the head, vertigo, loss of balance among the officials, sudden pain in the ear, and there is a strong sense of loss of locality or directionality. As I told you, suddenly they say they do not remember how they came to this particular place. They don't remember or they have some sort of memory loss, basically. All right, these are the symptoms, and the plausible reasons for this have been also explained through some theories. Some reports say it may be because of some acoustic signal, that means some sort of sound signal which suddenly comes. Many of the officials who were interviewed, they said one fine night they suddenly heard a peculiar sound, and after that they started these symptoms. All right, it may be because of some sort of chemical or biological agent. It may be because of some ionizing radiation. It can be because of natural or environmental factors, because the CIA report, it highlights that majority of the cases can be explained through, say, natural causes or stress. But there are some cases which still remain a mystery. They do not know the answer to it, why it is happening, what is the cause behind it. And the most accepted theory as of now would be some sort of a radio frequency or electromagnetic radiation which is directed towards them. And CIA does not deny that there is a possible microwave based weapon or a gun which may be fired towards the officials, leading to these symptoms. But nothing concrete as of now. It still remains a big mystery. And the CIA director, William Burns, he said that we will stay at it. We will find out the answers no matter how long it takes. In fact, last year, when the Vice President of United States of America, Kamala Harris, was traveling, her travel schedule was delayed because one of the officials where she was visiting, they complained of the symptoms of Havana syndrome. All right, very strange. So United States of America and the intelligence agency, they know there is some problem, but they are still not able to decipher what exactly is the reason behind that. Yes, they are looking for some solutions. See, in case if somebody is attacking, in case it is a coordinated attack against US officials, US diplomat, because more than 200 cases of Havana syndrome have been seen in US diplomats who are serving in overseas embassies. So if at all something like this is there, the US Department of Defense is working on some sort of wearable sensor which is going to hamper those microwave waves or electromagnetic frequencies, and they can safeguard themselves from the Havana syndrome. And work has been in progress on this from 2017 itself. Now, United States of America, it does not have any answers regarding the reasons behind Havana syndrome, but it does acknowledge that there is some problem. And in 2021, the Biden administration, they also passed Havana Act 2021. The Havana Act, I think when I was reading about this Havana Act last year, it reminded me of the Modi administration as well. I think US administration is now loving these acronyms. The Indian government, it comes up with these long acronyms. This Havana Act is very similar to that. Havana stands for Helping American Victims Afflicted by Neurological Attacks. Remember this, neurological attacks. Now the act basically tells it might be an attack. So under the Havana Act, those who are suffering from the symptoms of Havana syndrome, they would get close to $1 million or more than that as benefit. All right, almost more than 180,000. They get a lump sum payment, one-time lump sum payment for their health. Right. All right. So they do acknowledge that it's some issue, but still no answers. And now Indian government has stated that they are going to look into this Havana syndrome. Let's hope that in the next 3 months we get some concrete information about that. I'm not telling that the Indian government will decipher this mystery, but we will get more inputs about this, because US a case of US officials suffering from Havana syndrome, it did come in New Delhi, and we'll wait for that report. Whenever that report comes, we'll talk about that again on Study IQ. But be prepared for this. What is the meaning of Havana syndrome? Uh, some theories behind that. MCQs can be formed, or some sort of questions connected to mains can also appear. All right. Thank you for watching this video. And if you have liked this video, you can always follow me on this particular handle at the rate Rahul Sai 222. Thank you again. Jai Hind.